Is he the muscular looking guy? Yeah, he's a good looking dude.
Yeah.
I saw him in Fletcher for the first time the other day. Oh.
You're live, brother. Go.
Are we live? Oh. I didn't hear any music or anything. I can't hear a thing.
Can you hear me?
Huh?
You can't hear me?
No, I can't hear a thing. Okay. Well, we're for an edition of Trey's Showdown Live, and I'm here with Amber Fletcher. Amber, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
That was funny. We were sitting here talking, and I can't see anything. So I want to talk a little bit about hot topics today. We've got the new Provender Hall is opening up in about 3 weeks in the Stockyards. Chef Marcus Paisley's new restaurant. Attica with Tim Love has opened up 3 weeks ago. It's on top of the hotel down there on Main Street. And the Drovo Hotel is opening up with Jenna Kennard, Chef Jenna Kennard, and that'll be opened up, they say, in about another month. I'm excited to get that open. We have our best brunch article coming out on March 21st, next month. All the best brunches in North Texas. I'm excited about that. Too bad we can't make a brunch deal with corn dogs.
Oh, it's not out of the question. That's for sure.
That's right. All right, we're going to get down with Amber now. That was kind of funny. I've never had that happen before. That was the first time I had been able to hear the opening.
How about
I hope
now,
my
Trey?
brother was listening, though.
I can hear you, huh?
Yeah,
Hope my brother was listening so he can see we're saying good things about him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't know you had, because I had never seen him, and I saw him. I was like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah, he does like to work out.
Yeah, he does. Well, I like to work out too. I just don't look like that.
No, I like to eat too much, so.
Eat and drink. That's what I like to do, eat and drink. So, Amber, where are you from? You're from here, right?
I am. I was born and raised in Double Oak, Texas.
Double Oak, Texas. Where's Double Oak?
It is near Flower Mound,
Okay.
south of Denton.
Okay. It must be, is it small?
Small. We had to drive 20 minutes growing up to get to a gas station or a grocery store. I had cows in my backyard, so it was real fun growing up.
So it's all kind of part of the metropolitan area now, correct?
Oh yeah, there's a Whole Foods like 2 minutes down the road, so it's just all grown now, but it's still a really lovely place to live.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So how were you when your dad, how does Fletcher start exactly?
Well, so my grandfather, Neil
Right.
Fletcher, started it in 1942.
Okay.
He was in vaudeville performing on the side of Haskell Street in tent shows. He was the producer of the Madcap Players. And towards the end of vaudeville, he was actually doing a show at the State Fair of Texas when he was approached and offered a booth, which he said yes, and within a couple years came up with this creation of the Corny Dog and debuted it in 1942.
So when they asked him to do the booth, he didn't have to create the corn dog yet.
He had no idea.
He had no idea what he was going to do.
He just knew that he had to jump at the opportunity.
So what were the steps of the process of him creating the corn? I mean, how did he come up with the batter and all that stuff? Where did the idea come from?
Right. So from what I understand, on Oak Lawn there was a German baker, immigrant baker, that had a dish of cornmeal and hot dogs or meat or something, but it was too time consuming. It took 30 minutes or so to bake. You had to sit down, get a fork and knife, and he and his brother had the idea, we like this dish. How can we speed up the process? How can we make it mobile? Can we deep fry it? And so they just, over time came up with this hot dog covered in cornmeal on a stick and deep fried.
And I guess, as we know now, the rest is history.
The rest is history. In the first year, they sold $8,000, which is equivalent to $120,000.
Right.
So this brand new innovation idea no one ever heard of, over $100,000, and back then the fair was 17 days.
Yeah.
I would say it was a hit.
Yeah, I wonder what the first people thought when they saw, what is that?
Well, they had to cut them up in bite-sized pieces and give them away because they had never seen anything like it before.
Well, they originally start on a stick?
Yes,
they
did.
I wonder if people were they were scared to try them the first time, maybe.
Maybe. They had to give them away for free, but I was told they always came back for more.
Yeah.
But back then they used to just have, a burger or ice cream or some like a square meal. They didn't have the deep fried obsession that we have today at the State Fair.
Boy, and that's the truth. That's really grown, hasn't it? So when they started that deal, it was you said him and his brother?
It was my grandfather and his brother, but it was all done in my grandfather's wife's kitchen.
Okay.
And so,
as is a lot of great companies start.
And so a lot of the women were like, well, it was in the mama's kitchen. Don't forget the mama. Minnie was involved too. But my dad was 10 years old, and he said he was the guinea pig and the taste tester. And I mean, he just was hooked from there. He's probably eaten more corny dogs than anything else. So
I wonder, did you think the batter changed over time, or was it always the same batter?
I think they said between the first 9 to 12 years, they did play with the recipe a little bit, maybe a little more sugar, less sugar, more cornmeal, whatever it was. But since about the early 50s, it has not changed.
Has
and
not
we still
changed.
get it from Morrison Milling in Denton, and they have our secret recipe locked away.
So it's the same company then.
It's the same company.
Has it always been the same wiener?
No, we have changed over time. We got it from somewhere up north, and that place grew too big. Another place moved somewhere else, but we've been with Syracuse sausage for about 15, 16 years now, and it's an amazing product, high quality. People talk about the price of Fletcher's, I don't want to pay $6 for a corny dog. Well, they're getting high quality meat, no fillers, no byproducts.
Right.
It's just full muscle meat and spices. And so that's where that price is coming from.
Well, you can tell in the flavor because they've always tasted good, and I've been eating them for a long time. I might be a little old. When they first started, they only had the one corn dog,
That's correct.
and they've gone from how many flavors, how many different varieties do y'all have now?
We have 5.
Right.
I believe we introduced the jalapeno and cheese in 2004. And then from there, we introduced the turkey for someone that doesn't want, beef or pork. And then we came up with the Veggie Dog in 2015. We were getting requests for several years. And I got my degree in health education, and I just felt like with that need and that allergy or whatever, there was a place for it. And so we have the Veggie Dog, and now we have a cheesy pup, which growing up as kids, they would deep fried cheese for all of the kids. And so that was a childhood memory. And my brother was like, can we bring back the cheesy dog? And so now we have that.
Oh, that's also. So I don't think I've had the cheesy dog yet. What is it? How's it work?
It's just, soft American cheese that is put on a stick and put in our batter and deep fried.
Oh, wow. So there's
It's
no
just all cheese.
all cheese. Oh my gosh, I bet that's good.
It's like a fried grilled cheese.
I bet that's
So
good.
good.
And you said, so where'd you go to college? Where'd you get?
I went to Texas Women's.
Okay.
Very proud.
I thought you might have gone to the Corny Dog School of Hard Knocks, working in
Corny
St.
Dog
Fairs.
University. So, we actually used to give out Corny Dog University graduate certificates whenever we had we had over 50 locations and franchises in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And when you would graduate from being, trained, you would get a certificate, and we're wanting to bring that back. So.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, y'all had franchises, so you don't have all. It's all now. It's just Fletcher's. You don't have franchises anymore, correct?
Correct. Right now, we've been doing the State Fair of Texas mainly the last 30 years, and then the last few years we've been doing more and more events. My father passed away in 2017, leaving the company to my brother and I. And so, we took 2018 and kind of spent some time grieving, and then just kind of seeing what the future of Fletcher's would look like.
Sure.
And then in 2018, we just started planning and having visions and meetings. And 2019, we just exploded on the market. We've been all over DFW. We're about to go to Houston and Waco and Denton and Dallas, and really just trying to take corny dogs to people now, which is great.
And you have something new too that you've just gotten.
Yeah, we got 2 food trailers last year, and so that's what we're taking on the road. We're doing catering and pop-ups and other events and festivals just all over DFW.
So will the trailers have all the flavor profiles, all the flavors you offer?
They do.
Okay.
Typically when we go to an event, we say, here's what we offer. What would you like us to have? What do you think people want? Because we also do funnel cakes. I've been making funnel cakes since I was 10 years old. And so we offer funnel cakes now, just not at the state fair. We don't want to compete with anyone there that has funnel cakes. So.
Wow, that's right, because it's so popular there, right?
Yeah, we've got Fernie's funnel cakes at the state fair, and we love Fernie's, and so they do funnel cakes, we do corny dogs, and we're going to stick with that.
Just stick with what you specialize in.
Exactly.
I didn't even know y'all did funnel cakes.
Yeah.
Now, do you do French fries?
We do curly fries.
Okay, because I've only had the corny dogs there.
Yeah.
So when you develop a new corn dog, how long does it take for you? If you get an idea when you develop a corn dog, how long does it take you? What's the development process of a corn dog?
Really, it's fun. It's in my mother's kitchen, and we just have an idea, and we'll go buy products and try different things. And I actually made one of those flaming hot Cheeto corny dogs last summer, and it was terrible. Like, it lost all the flavor in the making, and so it's like, well, maybe we need to add this or that and whatever, but it's such a craze, and I don't think it'll be something sustainable, so we kind of gave up. But we've got 3 ideas that we're hoping to introduce in the next 6 to 12 months.
So
be on the lookout.
So R&D is in your mom's kitchen. That's awesome. What process did you go through to try the chili dog, the Cheeto chili dog? Was it on the outside or inside? How was it?
So I did both. So I took the flaming hot Cheetos, I crumbled them up and I dipped the corny dog in the batter and then I rolled it and fried it. The other one I put the Cheetos directly in the batter and mixed it up, and I tried both different ways, and it was a beautiful presentation, had a great crunch, but it lost all the spiciness. And I'm sure we could add it in, but at the state fair, we're pumping them out so fast.
Right.
We just don't have
time.
People wait in line as it is. Could you imagine, hold on, I need to add some drops of spice to this. So
yeah, it wouldn't work out very well.
Yeah.
Because if you multiply 1 times 50 in an hour, whatever it would be, it slows the process down.
Because depending on the day, at the State Fair of Texas, we sell between 20 to 60,000 a day.
Wait a minute, I had no idea you sell that many. 20 to 60,000 a day? That is crazy.
Yeah. On a slow day, it's about 20,000. Texas OU, we get up to 60 to 80,000. And so we standing in line at the state fair is part of the tradition.
Right.
But we hate that people have to stand in line, and whenever someone complains, it truly breaks our heart. We don't want people to have to wait. And so we try to think of new products where it's not going to cause them to have to wait longer. We've thought of doing other variations of corny dogs, but the process is so time consuming. We just don't want them to have to wait.
So how many people, because I have not, every time I go to state fair, I will go really early or when people aren't there, so I haven't seen a line. How many people work when it's that busy and you're running how many people work the windows there? How many windows do you have?
Well, it depends. We have 7 locations and we employ about 200 folks. And so depending on which stand it is, some stands only require about 5 to 6 people. Our busiest one by Big Tex requires about 40 to 50. This is temporary work, and so oftentimes, the employees are new. They've never done it before, and they get good about the end of the fair, but then they're also burnt out. And so, because in the beginning they're learning,
right?
And then once they get the hang of it, it's like, well, we're tired and it's over, so we're going to go home.
Yeah, I guess there's no way to train them before the fair because it's temporary work. So
right.
I can understand what you mean. They would get good towards the end of the fair.
Right.
So is the first week kind of harem scarum or?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
We do have a lot of return employees. And that's another thing is, sometimes people do get a corny dog that isn't cooked the way that they remember and they want. And so we just, we're really trying to work with our cooks to get more experience before, because we're also bringing in new cooks every year. Yeah. And some of them just, my dad always said corny dogs are simple, but they ain't easy.
Right.
And taking someone new, trying to teach them what we've been doing for 80 years, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah, I guess, so what will be the pitfalls? Too much batter, not enough batter, too long cooking, too short a cooking process?
All of that. Too much water, not enough water, mix it too much, mix it not enough. Sometimes folks will get corny dogs and they're a little grainy. That's because it hasn't been mixed, enough, maybe
Sure.
not enough water. So we always encourage people, don't think you have to wait in line to come get another one or return it. Just walk up to the side and just not throw it at somebody.
Well, when we had our restaurants, Dad tried all kinds of various things, and 2 things that we tried that we could never get people to understand. We tried biscuits and we tried the variations of cookies, and they'd have a recipe, but it seemed like every 3rd or 4th restaurant would want to do their own. No, I don't like the way that. I'm going to do it my own way. Or I don't think it needs that much water or milk. I'm going to use this. Or I'm going to use 5 eggs. I'm going to use 4. And so it got to be such a process that it would be so inconsistent that we just wound up scrapping the whole program and just using stuff that we knew that was easier for them to mix. They couldn't vary from.
Right.
So human error is kind of, sometimes people think they know better and
right.
just they need to follow the system, but sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Well, and the same thing happens with us. We have 7 locations, and some people know if I go to this one, they're going to be thicker or they're going to be crispier. If I go to this one, I know that they're going to be, I don't know all the different ones, but we do see that at the fair as well, which is why you'll often see either my brother and I, or my cousin and his wife, literally in there throughout the whole fair, just kind of retraining on a daily basis to just try and get them to get the hang of it. So
I'm sure it's a constant training effort. Yeah, all the time, just nonstop. And how many hours is fair open?
It just varies depending on what part of the fair and if it's the midway or if there's a game or a weekend. It's typically 10 to 10, or it can be 12 to 10. Weekends it can be later. But I mean, for the Fletchers, I mean, we typically stay there the entire, I
Yeah.
mean, you work 24 hours a day the entire fair.
And how long is the fair now? 21 days?
24.
24.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when you were talking a while ago, you said the first fair was 17, right?
Yes.
17 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's an extra week. No, 5 days, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that makes a lot of difference in sales, though, doesn't it?
Oh,
An extra
absolutely.
5
We
days.
wish we'd get an extra week now.
So is in the fair in the fair business, I've always been curious of this. Does the daily sales pick up steam as you go along, or they just start high and remain kind of consistent all the way through?
You know, it really just depends. We see it's affected by weather or if there's something going on in the economy. Last year, the case with the police officer, the Amber case, we felt that weekend, that trial, the attendance was maybe a little lower.
Wow.
You know, sometimes we think if there's controversial things happening in the area, it might change it as well. So many things affect the fair, but I know that I think the attendance was like 2.5 million. So I mean, it was an incredible year.
And you said I caught when we were talking about it ago. You said the stand by Big Tex sells more corn dogs.
It is the most popular.
Is it really? Is it just because of Big Tex?
I think it's because everyone knows where it is. It's on TV the most. It's by Big Tex. We have 7, and we'll have people online. I'll say, you know, we've got 6 other locations, and it's funny because one, they won't move. They're
They're afraid to go lose their spot, aren't they?
And the other things are like, oh, really? We didn't know that. And so we're working on getting maps and, you know, things we can print out in brochures and just trying to get it out to the public because we don't want them to have to wait in line.
Do you think that people there's so much stuff to see at the fair, they walk around kind of oblivious at times because they're just so enamored by all the lights and the games and maybe the kids they have. They don't realize, I didn't know you had 7 locations either.
Yeah, perhaps some of them kind of blend in. You'll have a row of different vendors. You know, you've got Jack's Fries and Fernie's Funnel Cakes and some other popular folks that have been there. And they all kind of just are in a line, so you really do have to look. Whereas a few of our other stands are just very out in the open.
Yeah. So out of all those dogs, I want the vegetable corn dog.
Yes.
It's a vegan corn dog.
So the meat is vegan, but the batter still has milk and eggs.
Okay. So how many are those popular? Are you selling quite a few of them?
They are more popular now. We've had them for 5 years, and
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
once we started kind of promoting it more on social media, people would say, "Oh, we didn't know you had this." We've had it for 5 years. We just we have a new marketing team. We've hired Cynthia and Randy with Gangway Advertising, and they have been an amazing godsend to our company, just helping us promote and learn how to market. I certainly didn't get my degree in marketing, so I don't know what I'm doing, but
Right.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. When we had our restaurants, I didn't have a degree in marketing either, but all the stuff we did with I was with advertising firms. My dad put me in, and I traveled all over the United States, all over the 4-state area here in the United States with the restaurants. And my brother and I were always involved with advertising promotions and learning how they create them. And you learn a lot, and it's stuff you don't learn. So
Right.
if you're not a specialist in that field, it's always better to have somebody to help you out, which is neat.
Right.
She was very good to work for. She was watching out for you very closely. So how have you been marketing the Veggie Dog? Because that's the new vegan thing and vegetable thing is getting really popular, like the Beyond Meat patties.
I mean, really, it's just, talking about it and getting the product in front of people's eyes and then letting people know that we do have one. We had some beautiful shots taken of it so that we can start throwing them up on social media and just letting people know. But really, I think it's just going to be a word of mouth thing.
Yeah. Social media is, in most cases, is the best way.
Right.
That's what it's better than TV now, which is unusual, but that's the way it's gotten. I saw a picture, I think from Cynthia, that had like 5 corn dogs in it. Was one of those the vegetable corn? Okay.
It was.
That was a good shot.
Yes.
It was a very good shot. So I want to ask you this. We talked about this right here.
Okay.
Mustard and ketchup.
I'm ready.
So what is more popular, mustard or ketchup?
Mustard, absolutely. And it's such a heated topic.
I didn't know that until you told me that.
I mean, people get, someone will be pumping ketchup on their corny dog at the fair, and someone's like, you need to put mustard on that. I mean, it's hysterical. There's always voting and debating and arguments, and It's always been mustard. We didn't even offer ketchup until 1994, and my dad was like, "That's because all the Yankees coming down to Texas." I was like, "I don't think you can say that." But
No, you can't say that.
Yeah, no, so not anymore. Scratch that.
That's
and
funny.
so we've had ketchup since 94, but we sell about, I believe, 1,500 gallons of mustard in 24 days and 800 gallons of ketchup.
Okay.
So while it's popular, it's not the most
Right.
popular. And we haven't added mayonnaise yet because nobody will let us, even though it's requested.
And I'm pretty sure your dad did not mean that in a derogatory term. He just meant it as different flavor profiles from different part of the country.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you get folks that want vinegar, you get folks that want mayonnaise and everything like that. And and we're starting to kind of play around with some different condiments as well.
And so you have shirts now. 'Cause this is one. You have shirts that say Team Mustard, Team Ketchup.
We do.
And you sell those at the state fair?
We sell them at the state fair, and I believe they're on the website.
Oh, that's neat. Now, how many people use mayonnaise? Because we were talking about that too. Is that a big thing or no?
Well, people ask for mayonnaise, but we don't have it, and so they have to go to the burger place, and then the burger place is like, "Stop taking our mayonnaise." So I wouldn't mind offering it, but I just feel like my dad would roll over in his grave, and so I'm not really sure. I'm a little conflicted.
Not to bring up a bad subject, but I found sriracha mayonnaise. Have you tried that? Oh boy, I don't think I put it on a corn dog, but I put it on some sandwich stuff, and it's really, really good. But I'm a big mustard guy, but that's just I just had no idea that was a big thing.
It's got to be mustard. I mean, a corny dog isn't a corny dog without mustard because it's got that flavor with the vinegar, and it's a little sweet, and then it mixes with the meat and the cornbread, and it's how you complete a corny dog.
Yeah, John Teaser, Chef Teaser, Chef John sells hot dogs and chili dogs at his restaurant, his Knife Burger, and I had put some stuff on one of my social media sites about some corn dogs, and one of the corn dogs had ketchup. And he commented, "Man, a hot dog or a corn dog does not have ketchup. It has mustard." He put one of those things where smacking himself in the face, So I guess it really depends, So it must be a...
Well, we'll post photos of a corny dog with ketchup on it, and people go all crazy. That needs to be corny dog or mustard, and like, who puts ketchup on a corny dog? And I'm like, look, we have to include the ketchup lovers as well.
Right.
Occasionally, we want them to be happy.
Right.
So.
Everybody gets a chance.
Right. And then there's people that put nothing on it.
Yeah.
And that's
So
good too.
so you never had ketchup for them when your dad was selling them?
They had to go to the burger place if they wanted ketchup.
Wow.
Yeah, it started in 42. And from 42 to 93, it was mustard only. So,
Did anybody, if anybody ever asked you for ketchup? Did they ever
I
make
believe they did.
Yeah.
And that's why we eventually offered it.
Yeah. So how has the company changed? Because I know you and your brother are a lot younger, and because you've made some changes, operational changes. How has the company changed structurally to you versus when your dad had it versus the way y'all have it?
Well, ideally, my father ran the company for about 40 years. And to him, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And he did an amazing, incredible job running the company for those 40 years. But he also raised my brother and I up to be creative and thinkers and innovative, and raised us with, specific morals and ethics on, how to run his company when he knew he would pass. My brother and I have had dreams and goals for our entire lives. And so when he passed again, we had a time of grieving, and then we just had a time of sitting back and planning, and what would that look like? We've got about 40 years in the company, along with my cousin that's also an owner. And for decades, people have been saying, please come to our state, please come to our city, open a restaurant, do these things. And we're so excited to do those things and to talk about them.
It's got to make you feel good that your dad did start that legend, that people, because people love it, so it's got to make you feel good.
And we love that. Somehow Fletcher's was a big hit pretty immediately, and we've become this Texas iconic brand. And really, we want to build that nostalgia and that brand. We would love to maybe be nationwide.
Yeah.
Do you think people might want corny dogs up in Oklahoma?
yeah, right. Of course they would. So I like the idea about the food trailers. That's a neat idea. So when did y'all decide to do that? How did you decide to pull the trigger on that? Do you already have them? Are they already made and everything?
Yeah, we had them. We've used them all in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was part of the goal, is just wanting to hit the road and go to other festivals and fairs and events. And so we bought a trailer last spring. And
is it wrapped with Fletchers?
We have two. One of them is more it's more catering looking, so it just has the logo. The other one is very beautiful and festival. It looks perfect for like a carnival. It's all red and yellow and has flags, and it's
neat.
real fun. So just to fit different needs.
And will y'all pull them with a pickup or? That's neat. And how many did y'all wind up doing last year or 2019?
Couple dozen, not much. I mean, we were really focusing on like just what does it look like to build the company? Where do we want to go? What do we want it to look like? So we had a couple dozen events. We've got more this year, but our focus has been more on some other projects that are coming up.
So is it when they leave out of here and go to the event, just set up like you do at any other fair, I guess, and sell, then come home? So they're not really on a circuit like some of the fair people.
Well, I took my crew to Magnolia last fall for Celebration. We were
wow.
there for 3.5 days. I had a crew of 4 people, rolled up, set up, sold corny dogs for 3 days, and then we came back. The Waco's not that far.
No, it's not that far. No, but that's okay though. It's still mobile. Where people, did you get a lot of good comments?
We had such an amazing response, and the funniest one is they're like, "Oh, now I don't have to go to the fair." And I'm like, "Well, we would still like you to go."
yeah, that's not the point.
Yeah.
I want you to do it here and there.
Exactly.
Right? That's great though. But you were close to the fair. But once you get farther away, like Oklahoma or someplace else, or Kansas or wherever you're going to go, New Mexico, they won't ever come to the fair. So you're
Right.
capturing a new audience that way.
Right. Exactly.
Which is funny. It's because once you capture that new market, you may already have them anyway. Maybe they've tried it somewhere before. And
Well, we've talked with our media strategists, and they did. You can look at the demographics for who follows you on social media. I mean, we've got people
Right.
from Africa, Australia,
Right.
the UK, of course, all over the U.S. And then we get a lot of emails, which crack me up. My wife is pregnant. We moved to Virginia. Can you please send us some Fletcher's Corny Dogs? And somebody wanted Fletcher's Corny Dogs for the Cowboys Giants game last year. And we just haven't figured out a way to ship them and keep it fresh because we don't ever want it to not taste good.
Right.
Because then what's the point?
It
so
ruins
if we
the brand.
can figure out how to ship them and make them taste good, I mean, that could be a whole new market for us as well.
there's a company, I think,
Gold Belly.
in Target that says State Fair Corn Dog or something.
Oh.
Have you seen that?
I do.
What is it? I know it's not y'all.
So State Fair Corn Dogs is owned by Tyson Foods,
Okay.
and it is just their version of a corn dog.
Okay.
So there's no affiliation or anything, but it is a way for people to go. With Fletcher's, we want to be an experience.
Right.
You need to have, the music and the drinks and the atmosphere and the rides, and you need to have a party and a good time.
Right.
And I don't know how that is, just taking something out of the freezer, putting it in the oven. Maybe.
Yeah. It's not the corn dog experience that you're looking
Yeah,
for.
it's just not the same.
Well, plus, no matter what you do, unless you fry, it's not going to have that same texture, the same crunch, the same
Right.
same taste, no matter what you do.
Right.
There's no way you could. To me, I don't think you may find eventually, but I don't think you could put a corn dog in a box and freeze it and send home somebody have it, bake it in the oven, and have it taste the same.
Well, I mean, I've never had a frozen corn dog before,
Yeah.
so I don't even know what it would taste like. So I don't know.
Well, it wouldn't taste like a Fletcher's. That's the thing. So it'd be different for you. And, they have corn dog bites and they have all those things. It's crazy. So as far as I don't know how. Let's see. This is the family. You've split up. Is that what happened?
Well, some folks say it's a split, but the granddaughter is family.
Right.
But I don't say it's a split because they were never a part of it.
Okay.
When people talk about the Fletcher family, they're
Right.
typically referring to the owners, which was my father, my uncle, my brother, my cousin, and I.
Right.
She was never a part of that. She was never involved at the state fair. She was never involved in the family business. She was never interested until she started that company, I guess. So we don't call it a split. It is unfortunate. We wish her all the best and success. But we're just, we just wanted the confusion to stop. As we're building our brand, we don't want the confusion that we've been seeing to happen.
Okay.
So it's been difficult.
It's been difficult, yeah. But you just can't. You sure don't want to take away from the Fletcher's original corn dog brand. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, my brother and I have a lot of vision and goals for the company. And when you're trying to go out and build something and make it bigger, it's hard when people are confused who you are.
Yeah.
Some guy was like, hey, my friend said he cuts your hair. And I'm like, what? No, you don't. So there's just so much confusion happening just in all aspects of it.
Yeah. But I guess it'll work itself out. Time cures time cures some
Yeah.
things as long as they're
We
done.
hope so, and we want to support them. We've never said their food's not good or don't go try it, don't do it. We just want, if you want an original Fletcher's Corny Dogs, you've got to go to Fletcher's Corny Dogs, not to someone that truly just had nothing to do with the business.
Yeah.
So
See, I didn't realize that until we talked. So now, it's yeah. And Cynthia, as a matter of fact, I saw it at Mayfest or something like 2 years. Was it 2 years ago or last year maybe? And it wasn't Fletcher's. It
Right.
was something. It was the other one. And so it didn't dawn on me until Cynthia, your public relations and advertising, said, we want you to say Fletcher's Original Corn Dogs, not just
Right.
Fletcher's. And so at that time, I was like, I was looking at the email going, and then this is all, it just takes seconds, but trying to relate and how it worked in my mind.
right.
And I said, oh, I know why she's saying that. I understand. I got why she's saying that. And so I understand that. It's because you are the original corn dog.
Yes.
So what's going to be what are you working on some new, you said to stay tuned, are you working on some new flavors now?
So we've got some new products in mind that we're thinking of. Not sure which one we're going to go with. I can't give away any hints.
Yeah.
And then we've also got more things coming up with the business, with some more events, more things that we're doing, more cities that we're going to be at, and maybe even something that might be a little bit more permanent.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? So I see. Have you ever watched that show on TV? On the state fair. It's like a state fair where people create dishes for the state fair and they get awards. Have you seen that show? And because the guy from the big guy that wins a lot of stuff at the state fair always has dishes entered in it. But it's not the state fair; it's on TV.
It's on TV.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Abel Gonzalez?
Yeah.
The one that's fried butter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always. I think he's a judge on there too.
I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen it, but
Yeah.
I know him well, and he's
Yeah.
actually opened up his own restaurant. It's called, oh goodness, now that I'm thinking of it, it's like Casina Italiano or something.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been there yet, but I've been dying to go. But he's got fried butter, fried pizza, fried
Yeah.
cookie dough, fried peanut butter and jelly. I mean, everything.
Yeah, does he come up with all that? Fried peanut butter and jelly. I hadn't seen that. How
It
does
is
that
so
work?
good. I'm obsessed
Is
with
it really? How does it? Is it a ball?
No, it's an actual fried peanut butter and jelly, and I believe banana sandwich that he just deep fries and puts powdered sugar on, and I mean it is just so good.
Deep fries of peanut butter and jelly. How can that be? How can that be bad? I mean, it's got to be
no.
delicious.
It is. It's amazing.
Anything deep fried.
Right.
That butter, and I always wondered, and I watched the show and I watched them do it, but I always thought the butter would melt, but I guess it's in a pocket and it just real quick, and that's what keeps the butter from.
I'm not sure. If I just guessed, I would assume maybe it's frozen or something,
Yeah.
and then deep fried. I've had it, and it just totally like ooey gooey, in your mouth, and I think there's different flavors like cinnamon, and you need to have him on the show.
I will get him on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. That'd be neat. So, what are your plans for the state fair this year? It's going to be pretty much the same thing, just the booths and everything. Or is there anything new at the state fair this year?
It's a little early. This will be our 78th year. I'm not sure if we'll introduce a new product this year, if we're going to wait till next year. Really, we're just going to go out and just work on what we do.
So, what is your favorite thing about Fletcher's? Growing up with Fletcher, what has been your favorite? Like, if somebody stopped you and said, "What is your favorite thing about what you do?" What would that be?
Just being at the state fair, you've got this combination of sights, sounds, smells, childhood memories. So many beautiful childhood memories with my family. And it was just this experience larger than life. I mean, you feel like you're in a movie or just something larger than myself.
Yeah.
And it just was a beautiful feeling. And so when I go back to the fair and I'm working, I just get to reconnect with that feeling. Now that my dad's gone, I really get to reconnect with him, doing the thing that he loved the most, doing it the way that he taught me and he raised me, and just coming into the person that he knew I would be.
Yeah.
Same thing with my brother. And really, it's just that feeling that you get. It's not anything specific.
Yeah.
So
I was just fixing to ask you about your brother. So, and your brother, what was your brother's name again?
Aaron.
Aaron. And what is Aaron? Do y'all share responsibilities, or are you specifically doing one thing? He's specifically doing one thing.
So I love doing social media, marketing. I'm, very chatty. I love to network.
Right.
My brother is more sits back and makes. He's very business minded. He's really good at making decisions that I just can't do because I'm too chatty. So, but he and my mother do a lot of the office work and manager work. He's helping with decision making and help leading us into what the future looks like. We all have so many roles that kind of overlap, but also have our specialties. And so, he's great with quality control. He can just look at a corny dog and know exactly like what it needs to be or what needs to be different. And he just works so great with everybody.
Yeah, that's fun. So what do you know what his favorite thing is about the business? I guess probably just being in the business, maybe.
I don't know. I think it's just doing what our dad raised us to do and following in our father's footsteps, because this is just who we are. I mean, we're just a corny family.
Corny family. What is one thing that your dad always told y'all? Like, what was there one thing he constantly told you over and over again? Was there something he would beat into your head? Or anything, any one phrase he would tell you?
Well, when it comes to the business, he would always say, don't overbeat the batter. Because if you overbeat the batter, you're just going to get a fluffy, tasteless dog. And that does happen. Sometimes folks say, oh, it doesn't taste the same. Well, somebody overbeat the batter. You got to find out who it is. So
Overbeat or batter.
But, he really just instilled in us that he loved us and that he knew we were going to do great things, and really just to do God's work. And
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You said overbeat the batter. Can you explain to me the process, how that works?
So we have these large commercial mixers. You pour in ice cold water, pour in mix, and then obviously you start to mix it. And it has to be a specific color and texture. And then if you keep going and you're over mixing it, I mean, it's just going to make it, it's not going to rise properly. It's going to get too fluffy. You put too much water, over mix it. It really loses the flavor. And then it's almost spongy and it's just not good.
Oh, wow. And
so it's, again, it's very specific with water mix, how it's mixed, the oil, the way that you stir them. If you don't stir them properly, they're going to get yellow bellies, and then they're going to be unevenly cooked. I mean, the whole thing is very specific. It took us 80 years to figure it out. So
that's funny because you said, what did you say? Corn dogs are easy, but what did you say?
Corny dogs are simple, but they ain't easy,
Okay.
is what he always said. He
Yeah.
said there's 100 ways to screw up a corny dog, and there are. So
And now just thinking about the batter, they look simple. You're right, but they're not. Which is that's been. So what's been your number one? How about the number one hurdle you've had? Because when you make the transformation from you and your brother, you and Aaron, from your dad, what's been y'all's number one hurdle? Has there been anything y'all have had the most trouble with?
I think it's just, what do we want to do? What do we want this to look like? We've got about 40 years. The beautiful thing about a family company that's nostalgic and iconic is you're literally a part of something bigger than yourself. So how do we separate the things that are maybe a little selfish, that aren't good for the brand, to things that are where the brand needs to go? And so it's really deciding, where does Fletcher's need to go? What does that look like? Maybe we don't need to be here because that's not truly us, even though we want it.
Right.
So it's really just trying to make it family and personal, but also build it in a way that is going to go on for another 80 years. That's
a good analogy. And what's been your biggest hurdle since you started? What's been your biggest thing to overcome as a business? Have you made changes or something? Has there been one thing that's been hard for you to change, or has it's been pretty easy just to make the changes and add to?
I think for me the hardest thing is that I was very shy, and
you were shy. Come on now.
I was a very shy child, and when my father passed, I just was like, I have, not just me, but my family, we have this 80-year legacy and responsibility on our shoulders. What if we mess it up? What if we make him not proud? What if we do something to hurt it or to end it?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be devastating.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just, how do we take the essence of what it is and who my father was and his father, but then also mix in like who we are and what we see for it. So the hurdle for me, I think, was just having confidence in myself that I could do it. And in a year, I feel like we've done so much.
Yeah.
It's really humbling, and I feel so blessed.
Yeah, well, you run any business, isn't easy, especially one that has all that steam behind it, and everybody loves it so much.
I mean, even though I've grown up in it my entire life, what if somebody just walked up and said, "Here's Whataburger"? I'd be like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this."
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference in working in a business and working on a business, and I had to learn how to work on the business and what that looks like. So it's taken me some time.
Did you see anything when you were growing up, when you were working there, that you would say, well, I think if I would do doing this, I would do it differently? Did that ever cross your mind when you were growing up or working?
I don't think so. I think I was very inspired, though, by my dad and how he interacted with people. He was such a character, larger than life. He was hysterical. Everyone loved him. Everyone would say he's the most generous man they've ever met. I loved how he would come alive. And me being so shy, I admired him so much, and how he could just, go out. But also, our family's showbiz.
Yeah.
And so we've got that vaudeville show performer, and so I was very inspired by that. But no, I mean, they did a marvelous job. I mean, they made it 76 years before Aaron and I kind of took over. And
what did he do before he made the Corny Dog? Was vaudeville? Was a show? What was that? We talked about earlier. We said have time to talk because I got caught off by trying to. Because
I've got plenty of stories. So.
Tell me what that is, because I'm curious.
So my grandfather, born in 1904, I have the whole script, and so his father passed when he was 4 years old, and so by age 5, it said he was singing in bars and saloons and brothels, playing the ukulele to make money because he was the youngest of 8 brothers and sisters. Wow. And so he had to start making a living for his family very early. And then that was 1905. And so then in the 20s, he and his brother moved from Missouri during the Depression. And I wondered, what did they drive to get here? Was it a train? Was it a horse and buggy? Did they have cars in the 20s?
Probably cars, no. Okay. Yeah, they had cars there. It was probably a horse and buggy.
Well, they came here in the 20s, and that's when they had the Madcap Players, and they were the producers of that, just doing shows every night. And I was told that my grandfather would play like the handsome gentleman, or he would play the drunk, which is just hysterical.
That's funny.
And that's what they did until the end of vaudeville in the 30s, and then it was the state fair from then on.
So the state fair already going on then? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
it's been going for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. Now I think about it. So I just was confused with the years. Vaudeville, that was a show.
So vaudeville, I believe, is just the term for that type of performance acting at that time.
Okay.
It's a lot of tent shows and performances, theater.
Yeah. So
it's just the term, I believe, for theater at that time, but it was a specific type. I don't know if it was corny or I'm not sure.
So how did he come up with the name Corn Dog?
So we just guessed it's a mixture of corn and carny.
Yeah.
That's what somebody said. But he tried a lot of names before we got Fletcher's Corny Dogs. We had Brown Bomber.
Brown Bomber.
Yeah.
That one didn't.
No,
that would not be good.
We had Fletcher's Canine and had a dog on it. And it's so funny. Somebody was like, is there a dog in that? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think they used dogs in the 30s. And then we had Meal on a Stick. That one didn't.
Meat on a stick?
Meal
on a stick.
Or hot dog on a stick. We had like 5 names before we stuck with Fletcher's original Corny Dogs.
That's neat. It'd be neat to know how that process be. I know you can't go back, but it'd be neat. They didn't really have videos or anything back then, but it'd been neat to watch that process go down.
Well, we have some video that we found from the 70s, and we've got some photos from the 50s, but really not much.
Yeah.
So.
Not like there is now.
Right.
People video and photograph everything. Everything. So as a company for Fletcher's at the state fair, let me ask you a question. Why have y'all not done any other state fairs around the United States? Is you're just stuck in Texas trying to make everything work and grow the business?
Well, again, when my father for 40 years was in the company, he just wanted to be at the state fair. He had young children. We vacationed a lot and traveled.
Okay.
He just wanted to raise his family and play golf. That's all he wanted to do.
Okay. So he did the state fair so he could work for the 2 months or whatever it is, how long it takes to prepare for it, and then be off the rest of the time with the family.
Right. I mean, we did some other things and had some other companies throughout that time, but really he just wanted to spend time with his family. Same thing with his dad. We have an interview of my grandfather saying, I just want to play golf. That's all they wanted to do. So, and my father, he didn't take over the company until I believe his 50s. So my dad was a commercial pilot. He was a crop duster, a farmer. He was in the military. He was a singer. He had a whole slew of careers before this. And so once he came into Fletcher's as an owner or as a owner operator after my granddad passed, he just wanted to spend time with his family. And works the fair.
That's neat. Because I hear a lot of the shows now when they talk about state fair, the people that work state fair, this one guy said, I only work a state fair. I only work 8 months a year, and the rest of the time, 8 weeks a year, and the rest of the time I take off.
Right.
I'm like, how do you do? Because here's the deal. When you have a business like that, if you don't plan really well, it's hard to keep from spending all the money and not have any money coming in. Does that make sense?
No, I agree. People tell stories about if you, when people win the lottery, within 6 months they're broke.
Yeah.
Well, I've been getting paid once a year my entire life, and
you get paid once a year.
Well, I used to.
Yeah.
And so, and I had other jobs in my 20s and teenagers and stuff, but
Taught you how to budget.
yeah, you have to budget that. Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you screw up or you have something big happen, there's no working extra hard or going and selling something or doing something
Selling
else.
your house, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what I mean. It's a huge budgeting process.
Right.
It's something you have to really work at. And so I started thinking when I heard that this is like I heard it the first time a couple of years ago. And now I kind of look at those shows, look at the people that work in the state fairs, and look at everything they go through. And it seems easy, but it's not easy.
Right. It's not. The fair starts in September. We begin planning in February. So from February to July, there's a lot of planning. From July to September, there's a lot of man work and setting up and getting everything in. And then November, we kind of wrap things up. So we have December, January to be burnt out and then heal and get back to normal, and then we begin again.
Do y'all take time? Do y'all go anywhere? Take time off when the fair's on?
Typically, my mother and I, we love to go, to Florida or something. So we'll go somewhere. But last year we didn't go anywhere. We were so busy because once we kind of announced we were doing more events outside the fair in the trucks. we were booked.
I bet. I think you could have all the business you wanted to. People love it. They just do. Look at that brand. Look at that. How you just not love that little guy?
I know. He's a happy guy.
Yeah, he's a happy guy, isn't he? Very happy. So let me ask you. I'm going to ask you a mustard question.
Okay.
Have y'all found that any one mustard is better than the last?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Explain me why, because I'm curious about this.
Well, mustard is how much vinegar, how much salt, how much is there sugar, how much mustard is in it. You've got ground mustard and brown mustard and what is gray poupon?
Yeah, well, the reason why I ask you this question is because when I was a kid, a young boy, there wasn't very many mustards, and now you go to the shelf and they're all fighting for a whole row of space, for mustards. So that's why I ask you the question.
Yeah, we have a very specific brand that we use, and it's the only one that we will use. It's not French's. People think we have French's. Some people will bring their own French's to the fair because that's what they want. We have a very specific brand that we love because the way the flavors just again go together with our product. That's the one that we want to have, and it's just a combination of the vinegar and sugar and everything. So. And
everything's always in pumps. Okay, yeah, yeah. I would think that a certain mustard would change the flavor profile of the corn dog. That's why I was always curious.
It does.
Is it that way with ketchup too, or you don't? That's not as important to you.
I've never put ketchup on my corny dog.
So you wouldn't know.
I'm not really sure. I believe we use Heinz.
Yeah, Heinz. Yeah. Does Heinz own French's?
I don't know. French's has that mustard ice cream though.
I posted that.
I really want to try that. I honestly want to put it on the corny dog and eat it and see what that tastes like.
See what it tastes like. Well, they just made and you were talking about who made a beer? Did somebody make a beer with Fletcher's corn dog?
Revolver. Well, Revolver has corn dog ale, and they're at the state fair, and they put mustard on the rim, and it's a beautiful presentation.
Okay, tell me. So they have a corn dog ale. It's not actually Fletcher's corn dogs.
Correct.
And they put mustard on the rim of the glass or the
on the glass.
Wow, that's neat, isn't it?
Yeah, the founder of Revolver just wanted to have something to do with the state fair, and he, wanted it to be corn dogs and figured out how to make a beer taste like a corn dog, and spent a lot of time doing it. And
did you have it last night? Is that where you were last night?
No, I had Blood and Honey. I went to the Revolver grand opening at Texas Live, and so we had Blood and Honey.
Okay. So the company in Fort Worth, Panther Island, I saw an article that I shared on my Drink with Trey page. Shout out to Drink with Trey. That they made a beer out of Bucky's Nuggets.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. Does Bucky know about that?
They put Bucky's Nuggets. They had a picture with them pouring the nuggets in there, and they said it sold out They sold out in the first day.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they're making more now. They say it was very, very, very well received.
Oh, that's great.
It showed them pouring those Bucky nuggets in the thing to do it. I don't know what it must taste good. I had never tried Bucky's nuggets, so we just got some last week. They were good.
I haven't had them either.
Everybody loves them, and everybody kept, for years about, I want some of those nuggets now. Well, they're good. Y'all try them.
I have to.
Now that you're out there in beer. So you're looking forward to the fair, it's 2020.
Yes,
this
so
year.
2020, it will be our 78th year. But between now and then, we have dozens of events. We're going to be at the Dallas Arboretum. We're going to have a pop-up at Mutt's Cantina.
Wait, Mutt's Cantina. Slow down a little bit. That's dogs.
That is dogs.
Awesome. And
So-
where is that?
So that's in Dallas, owned by Kyle Noonan. And we're very excited because I'm a dog mom. Not just corny dogs, but a dog mom. I have 3 dogs plus a foster right now, which is why I had to go and design little doggy corny dog shirts.
Yeah. Can you get those on the website?
Yeah, you can get them on the website.
Yeah.
And they
Is that
will
what
go,
this is?
And they will go up to about an 80-pound dog. So you don't just have to have a little tiny one.
Oh, wow, look, that looks good. The corn dog guy. So what does your dog think when he wears it?
Well, he's not that happy. Now, my 2 little Maltipoos, they like it because I shaved them short, so they're cold, and so they like having little sweaters and shirts. My golden doodle, not so much.
So you're going to be at, and where is that place in Dallas again? I'm sorry.
Mutt's Cantina.
Where is it?
It's in Dallas, March 19th.
March
we'll be
19th.
popping up there.
Oh, that's just next month.
Yeah, it's 2 days before National Corn Dog Day.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's corn dogs, and National Corn Dog Day.
That's pretty good. Okay, so you got that, then what's next?
Well, so Leap Day, because calories don't count on Leap Day. We're popping up in Denton at East Side, February 29th. And I believe from 1 to 10, we're going to be at East Side Bar. And come have a beer, have a corny dog. We're going to be at the the Dallas Arboretum, Mutt's Cantina. We're going to Houston to do a women's international market.
Oh, wow.
It's about 5 miles from the Houston Rodeo, and we'll be doing this whole pop-up on a Sunday afternoon, March 8th. We're going back to Magnolia for the Spring at the Silos.
Okay.
And that is March 12th through the 14th.
Well, you are going to be busy.
So March is a busy month, yeah. And then we've got some other things coming up. There's just so much my brain can't handle.
Yeah, that's okay. So what is is it Fletcher's.com? What is it? Fletcher's
It's
original?
Fletcher'sCornyDogs.com.
Fletcher'sCornyDogs.com. And that's got all your show schedules?
It's got all of our upcoming events. It's
Okay.
got merchandise. It's got services because, we also deliver.
Oh, okay.
So we do catering and delivery if you can meet the minimum.
Yeah, I'm in the minimum.
So, and then, you can get coffee cups, you can get shirts, find out where we're going to be next, read family history. We've got some beautiful photos on there.
And that's Fletcher'sCornyDogs.com.
It is.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes left. I want to tell everybody about the ring real quick.
Okay, so
Your ring. Yeah.
this ring is on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this ring, it's in the shape of Texas,
Right.
which so is my parents' swimming pool. And this was my grandfather Neil Fletcher's ring. And well, it was his wedding band and his wife's diamond. And when she passed, he had the ring turned into Texas and added her diamond. When he passed, my father had it for 40 years. And when my dad passed in 2017, it was left to me. And so I like to remember him, honor him when I need to feel close to him. Anything corny dogs, I feel like I have to have the ring on.
Family history.
It is.
Amber, I really appreciate you being
so
here today.
much. It's so awesome to finally come and hang out with you.
Yeah, that was awesome. We're going to come to the State Fair and hang out too. Janet told me we're going to come this year. She'll probably eat more corny dogs than I will.
We'll get some mayonnaise for a corny dog.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we will. She's liable to kill you and me both.
I'll just have like 2 little packets and I won't let anybody see them. I don't want to lose my inheritance.
Yeah,
So.
that's right. That's funny. All right, so next week we have a great show. We have Chef Jay from St. Rocco's and Trinity Groves. And St. Rocco's and Trinity Groves has got some amazing Italian food. It's one of my great picks for Italian food in the North Texas market. And he'll be here next week for next Friday's show. We will start again at 10 a.m. And hopefully this time I'll be correct and right on the money. If you're trying to get a hold of any of our old shows, any of our schedules, any of our blogs, Trey'sChowdown.com. And that's Trey with an E, not with an A, because all the nice trays are spelled with an E. Not with A. And we'll be here next week. But go to our check out our hamburger blog, Best Hamburgers in North Texas. And our best brunch blog will be out in about 3 to 4 weeks of the best brunches in North Texas. We're going to have the craziest brunch dishes in North Texas. And then following that, we're doing the craziest nachos in North Texas. We've been eating nachos for quite some time now, almost a year. We've got some other places we're going to go try, but things like trash can nachos and crazy brisket nachos and stuff is going to be a neat deal. So we'll see y'all next week. Same time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Thank you again, Amber.
Thank you.
I'm Trey Chapman, publisher of Trey'sChowdown.com. I'm passionate about finding the best food, drinks, and chefs and sharing it all with you. I should know I have over 5 decades of food experience. Find me on any podcast platform, Facebook Live, or just Google me. Now you can watch and listen to all my great finds every week on my live TV and radio podcast at Trey's Chowdown Live.